Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got this wonderful feeling. Everything's going my way. Yeah. Well, I'll give you one guess where I'm at. Yes, I'm at Mother's house again. And I told you I was going to make the rest of the video for my auntie's place. Next time I came here, I thought I better bring some of my tools because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to need to fix her ceiling fan in the bathroom. And I brought all these pieces of plywood. I happen to have some about 4 feet long or so, and they used to be shelves. And actually this was plywood that I took off of the countertop in the condo, and I saved it all and I cut it in strips, and I had it long, and so I cut it in half to fit it in the car because I came down to visit Mother. Yes, I did. And I brought all this stuff because when I get up in the attic, I've got lots of blow-in insulation I've got to move around, and this might be my most important tool today, my little dustpan. And then I can set this stuff down after I move all the blow-in insulation. Then I can put this, because the eaves are down low like this. Here's the end of the house. The exhaust fan is about right here, and the roof comes down here at an angle. Yeah, I'm gonna be on my belly doing most of this work up there. And I thought I'd just bring Mother's little giant, and so I'm gonna set that up over there too. And this is a little giant ladder, and yeah, I'll set it up. I'll show you what it looks like. That way I can raise it up higher. See there, it says little giant ladder system. You see that? They've had this thing for years. This puppy is heavy. If you don't know how to use it, then it takes a while to figure out. If you've never used one of these before, it cracked me up one day. I wasn't here at Mother's house, and somebody needed to go and do something, and they needed a tall ladder, and they got this one out. Mother says, oh yeah, VideoJoe, he uses this one all the time. And they had a heck of a time figuring out how to use this ladder. I'll just laugh, because anybody who works in DIY should know how to use a little giant ladder. Of course, I got those videos on my YouTube channel on how to use a little giant ladder. But anyways, I've got a little bit of wire here. I got all my wire nuts and stuff. I thought I'd bring a few things from my house. Usually when I get to Mother's, I've got stuff kind of stored over here, and whatever I got, that's what I use. And see, I got a little nail bag over here with all different types of tools shoved in there and stuff, and I've got a box here with nails and screws. In fact, I should bring that with me too. Here's a trouble light, and I've got some other tools in there, and one little battery operated drill, 12 volt. or is it a 16 volt or something? Nobody uses those anymore because it's not very powerful. And I had a power drill with a cord on it, and you know, I just kind of make do with whatever I have. But this time I thought nothing doing. I'm going to bring a few things from home, because I might even have to take that exhaust fan out. I'm hoping I don't have to use this puppy right here. You know, battery operated even. And the thing I like about this drill, or this saw, is that it's got the blade on the left hand side. If you ever buy one of these little Mickey Mouse little saws, circular saws like this, and if you're right-handed, get the one with the saw blade on the left hand side of it, not the right hand side. Years ago they used to only have them on the right hand side. They never had them on the left hand side. But they have both kinds at the store, and you think, what difference does it make? Well, get the one on the right hand side and use it with your right hand, and you'll soon find out why you want one on the left hand side, so you don't chop your fingers off, or to make straight lines, and you're always making them crooked because you've got to sit here and lean over to try to see the line where you're cutting. Okay, so I'm hoping I don't have to use that, because like I say, I may have to remove the entire exhaust fan, get another one at the store. But hey, either way, I've got to crawl up there in the attic, move insulation around, get down on my belly, and I'm thinking there might be a wire up there that goes from the light switches. If you saw all my other videos on this video series, you should have seen that I took all of the light switches out in the bathroom to make sure the light switches were good, because I thought, hey, I'm not going to go up there in the attic and do all this work and then find out it's just one bad light switch. So I checked all that stuff out. I took the ceiling fan down, and actually took the housing out of the ceiling fan, plugged in the fan to the wall, found out the fan was still working, plugged in the light kit to the wall, found out the light was still working, and all the light switches are working too. So, you know, there's got to be something up there, and I'm thinking maybe a rat got up there, chewed a wire from the light fixture or light switches on top of that wall, going on over to the ceiling fan. I mean, that stuff I can look at after I get all set up over there. Yeah, I'll show you a little bit there, and that's why I've got my trouble light here, extension cord to run the trouble light and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to show you a little bit of stuff up there, but it's going to be the insulation is going to be flying. And as a matter of fact, I've got it. Oh, see? Now I'm talking, I remember stuff. Here's a dust mask here. I've got another one over there. And I'm gonna put that blue bucket in there, because I've got all kinds of miscellaneous screws, nails, and things of that nature. So I've still got a few more things to do before I'm ready to load up. And I thought I'd take Mother's car, because look at this Toyota Land Cruiser. Look how big the back is. Hardly anything. And then you got to fold the seats down, and the seats don't compact down into the ground or anything. And I still would have to put the ladder up over it and stuff. So I thought, hey, I'll just take Mother's car. That way, if she wants to go over there too, it's easier for her to get in her car rather than this bugger here, because it's so high. Okay, well, I better get busy. And Mother, speaking of Mother, there she is right there.
Breakfast is ready.
Breakfast is ready. Okay, thank you, Mother.
Yep.
I'll be in a minute.
Okay.
As soon as I get done eating, then it's off to Auntie's house to fix that ceiling exhaust fan. Stick with me. I've got lots of things to show you still on this video series. Okay, I got everything reset up in here, and just a quick review of what we did before. Remember, the exhaust fan was not working. The light attached to the exhaust fan was not working. We already pulled out these 3 switches. We determined that all of these 3 switches were still working, so that one of these switches or 2 of these switches were not bad, causing that to go and not work. We took that down, we checked everything, and when I left, I knew I still needed to go back up to the attic a couple weeks later, and here I am a couple weeks later. And so before I left, yes, I cleaned everything up, and I actually put that back up there so she didn't have a hole that she had to look at and worry about and all that kind of stuff. I had everything cleaned up. Now, before I'm starting again, I've taken the little floor mats and stuff, put that upside down, put that upside down, got everything out of the way, took her nice little things up here, put them up in there, okay, so that they didn't get messed up for later. And just kind of get everything sort of ready, okay? Now I'm ready for the next step. What is the next step, by the way? Well, if you've been watching me, you know what the next step is. The next step is I've got to take this back down, and I'm just gonna set the tripod here, get this raised up. I'm in that little bathroom, and so see, now I've got to pull this apart again, because eventually I'm gonna have to have this out, and possibly I might have to go to the store and get a new one of these if I can't figure out what's going on up there. Remember how we pulled this out? Some can pull down, some's got screws. This one, I have to pull the light, little plastic light thing out of here. And there. It's on little clips on the side. And then I've got to pull the light bulb out. This happens to be a compact fluorescent bulb, and there's a little nut up here that I've got to take out, loosen up, and not all come out this way, but this one just happens to come out this way. Okay, and I left this unplugged and stuff. Okay, so now I'm just kind of getting reset up here, because I have a feeling if I can't fix this, I'll have to measure that exhaust fan, go to the store, get a new one, all that kind of good stuff. But hey, first things first, we still want to check this whole thing out and see if in fact we have to replace it. Have I worked on this fan before this time on this whole entire project? No. And it's okay if you haven't. See, I'm doing that. I should actually have my gloves on. Oh, that's right, I got a screw. This whole thing, there's a screw over here that's attached to the floor joist here, the truss, and it wasn't screwed in all the way, and so I've got to take that out so I can pull this down. And it's on little nibs, okay? So chances are, like I say, gotta take that down. Even if I can get it fixed, I still will wanna clean this out. Lots of times this gets all full of lint, and then it starts making the motor hum because it's stuck in gear. And I just read somewhere where somebody's house burned down, and it was because they had a ceiling fan, exhaust fan like this, the motor seized up because it was all clogged up with stuff, and it caused the motor to get hot, and then something happened, and a spark happened, and the thing caused the fire up in the attic, and all that good stuff. It was not a good scene. Whoever installed this, I can see their whole housing goes up at an angle, but that didn't stop them from doing anything. I'm just going to take some quick measurements in case I have to replace this 8.5 by 8.5. Because if I do, then hopefully maybe I can get one at the store that's the very same. Because I'd hate to go to the store and get a smaller one and then have the trim not fit or something like that. Okay, if you get one slightly bigger, that's okay. You can then cut the sheetrock out and all that kind of stuff, and in that, okay? So I'm not gonna really look at that much anymore, okay? I'm going to get all set up to get going in the attic. And in case you were wondering, did you watch the other videos I did? I hope you did. If you didn't, I checked this fan just by doing this, because I thought initially the fan was seized up. And if the fan's seized up, you can always take this apart and take the motor out and take it to the store. Maybe you can get it at the same motor, undo it and put it back on. It's kind of tricky to do. And sometimes they have this whole housing like this. Take this one to the store and you might be able to get one exactly the same, and then you just buy it and come back home and put it in. See? I know the fan works. Isn't that something? It's like, how on earth, why on earth is this whole thing not working up there? Okay, and even the light. I first I thought this compact fluorescent light was out, and I was gonna say, oh, I'll just get another. I was just gonna get another light. Okay, here's the little cord, and hey, if you've watched this before, just humor me. Okay, see there? We know the light works, don't we? And that's a compact fluorescent, and every time one of those, you turn it on, it has to flicker before it goes on. People hate that nowadays. And just for that matter, depending what I find, I might get a new fan and get an LED one, and then it shouldn't do all that, okay? Okay, so now I'm ready to get set up in the attic. Once I get set up in the attic, I'll show you around up there. Don't worry. Well, this is my staging area. And, oh man, my battery's getting kind of low, so I probably should take a, oh, where's my other battery? Oh, I know where it is. It's right here. I'll take that, I'll stick that in my nail bag and stuff. And see, here's my little giant ladder. I set it up because here's the crawl hole right here and a small little laundry area. And if you have only a 6-foot ladder, then you've got to jump way up high. So I thought I'd just bring my mother's ladder over here and set that up. I haven't gone up there yet. I've just opened it up, and you're coming with me. Okay, just be careful. And I like this. When I lifted that up, I put it over there. Okay. Boy, it's dark up here, isn't it? Can you see that? Good grief. I can hardly see anything up there, but see, they've got a light switch right here. And I don't know if you can see that. What's going on here? Okay. Well, I don't know what's happening. I'm going to shut this off and try it again. Okay, I guess you can see the light. It's just dark up there. Okay. There's the light switch there, and see, they have an air conditioner, a heater over there. I'll show you here in a minute. I just gotta get up, and once I get going, I'll set up my trouble light and stuff up here, my construction light. And I almost should have set the ladder up a little bit higher. Good grief. I still have to kind of struggle. Give me a minute here. Brother. trying to get up here. Hang on. Okay. Hey, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Okay. Alrighty. Low light, of course. But this is where their heater is. And see, normally they'll put plywood down here on the floor. And so I can walk up here to a certain extent. Okay. And there's all the blow-in insulation everywhere. And I've got to get way over that way. I'm going to set up my light, see if I can't get some better light here. See, I've already brought up my plywood and a few things. Here's my light over there. I'll get set up, see if I can't get a little bit more extra light. Wow, there we go. Okay. I'm glad I brought that. I thought I was going to have plenty of light and I was going to just bring a battery operated flashlight up here, but I thought, no, I need to go the extra mile because I'm going to be showing some videos of this and stuff. But see, here's the crawl hole over here, and it's, if you'll notice, they've got regular insulation along the side. Okay, batt insulation, the pink stuff. And they just kind of did that, you see? There's just one row. I kind of like that. And then they put it underneath the floor and kind of pooched it up. And then they installed blow-in insulation everywhere else. See all the stuff back in here? That's called blow-in insulation, and they just have that probably, well, I don't know, 12 inches thick or so. This happens to be, there's nothing here because that's the front entrance, and there's a stucco ceiling there, so outside. So technically, you know, when they get to there, they don't waste their money. They don't blow in any insulation there because they don't really need to. Okay, but where they start their blow-in insulation over there, they could have ran some more, some batt insulation, this pink stuff, so that then they could have built the blow-in insulation up higher at the ends. See, because you don't get a full 12 inches right there, because it's coming down at an angle. There's only maybe 6 inches there instead of 12 to 16 inches thick insulation. See, and that's why they kind of stack this pink batt insulation on edge, see, this way, and built it up like that, so that then they could take the blow-in insulation. Because over at my house, it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but at the crawl hole in the laundry, they'll blow in insulation everywhere, and then they tapered it down almost nothing around the door, around the crawl hole, because they didn't want the blow-in insulation to come out. They didn't build it up like this. You could, just around your opening, you could put some plywood, you know, on edge, screw it up there, and allow that instead of your insulation. But I mean, they did a pretty good job. And as for your crawl holes, your crawl door, see, they stapled a piece of insulation on the back of that batt insulation on the back with some staples, because there's paper on one side of that insulation there, and they stapled that down. That's a good way to do your doors, because lots of times you may not have any insulation above your crawl hole drywall, you know, or somebody's thrown it off and you're supposed to grab it and just set it on there and slide it down, and lots of times people don't do that, see. But anyway, see, here's the plywood here, and they made plywood like this because this is where their heater is, you see. And so you have to have access. You have to have a little walk area. So they made the walk area here. They didn't extend it over here. This is sheetrock drywall underneath that, so you don't want to step there. And then they ran it all the way over here, and there's a light switch. There's a light switch right here for the light, and that's good. And they also, see, they could have put some more light up here, but they didn't. And the good thing is that at least they ran least they ran a an electrical outlet there, see? And that's where I plugged in my extension cord. Okay, well, this is what your attic's going to look like. And, well, some attics anyways. And so, where's my exhaust fan? If you were paying attention, or if I showed you, I'm not sure if I showed you. Anyways, here's the front door to the house, boom. And then there's a hallway that way, and then there's the bathroom is over there. And then beyond this wall, there's a bedroom over there. And I'm hoping, beyond hope, that I can reach the actual exhaust fan. And I'm gonna have to check on that. And that's why I brought my light up here. That's why I brought some extra plywood up here. Because you see where this air conditioning duct is? All the way over to there. That right there, I believe, is where it goes. Oh no, that's not where it goes. That they extended off and ran it over that way. And see, a couple years ago, this duct wasn't here. It was only this duct here, and then it went into a box, and then it wied off, and one Y went over there, and I believe, you know, I don't know. No, I think that's the bed. I think that's the guest office right there. Anyways, there should be another duct that comes over, hits the bathroom. See, I still have to look, and then there's this duct here. It goes over to another bedroom, and they capped it off there, and they ran it separate when they installed it. I don't know if they installed a new unit. I think they well, they installed an extra line because they were getting, it was too cold in the winter or too hot in the summer, so to speak, because they were reducing it down too much. They had this big pipe going into a box, then it reduced it down to a smaller pipe, reduced it down to a smaller pipe. There wasn't enough air getting to the back bedroom. That's what it was. It's all the things you learn, man. Anyways, this wasn't supposed to be about just an attic. So I'm going to have to get over there, figure out what's what, and get going. Alrighty. I have not gone back there yet, but I just wanted to talk a little bit more about, well, hey, Joe, how do you know where to walk where this blow-in insulation is over there? Okay, well, this roof is a truss roof. Okay, it's built out of trusses. You can see the 2x4s coming up here and coming back down. They're connected to the roof. See the roof? The trusses are only 2x4s. How on earth can they get by with just a 2x4? Well, that's because this is a truss and it's all connected together. These 2x4s here go down and it V's back up to a smaller area, then it goes back down, it goes over, and all that kind of stuff. So when you see like all this, and it's all gusseted together with these metal straps, see along there, you know those are trusses. See all the metal straps along there? That's just how they kind of connect everything together. Okay, so I know coming straight down from there's another 2x4 that goes across, and they use that for your ceiling joist. So I know there's a 2x4 here on edge, 2x4 here on edge. This one I know it kind of comes up, but then there's another 2x4 from there down on edge, and so I know exactly where those 2x4s are. See, they're gonna look like these 2x4s. See, like that, because it's all part of the roof system. So I still have to be careful, because if I step in between there, that's just a drywall, and then I'm gonna poke a hole through the ceiling, have to patch that, or fall through, or break my ankle, or anything like that. So, and you see how the roof comes down at an angle, and it just happens to be where the exhaust fan is way down there. I have hardly any room to work with, so I've got to first locate where the fan is, then locate where the wire is for where the light switch wall is to go in over there. And in order to do that, I've got to slide some of that insulation around, put some plywood down. That's why I've got my little plywood strips here that I brought from home. And screw them down so I can lay down there on my belly after I clean it up a little bit. So yes, I got my glasses, my gloves on, my goggles on, and all that. Man, I don't see, the light is so low you can hardly see anything here without the light. And but anyways, that's what I have to do. I got to get back. I got to get all the way back in there and figure this out. I'm not going to have her have to pay somebody else. Somebody had to come out here and fix all this and troubleshoot it and get a new exhaust fan. And you know, you have to remember, you can't just undo the exhaust fan and hook the wiring up and call it good. You've got on the exhaust fan, you've got the exhaust vent that's on there, that's screwed on there, that's duct taped on there and all that. That's way down there. Somebody would probably charge her, oh, I don't know, $1,100, $1,200, $1,250. It just depends. It just depends. Every job is different. Every access area is different. If this thing was right out here in the middle, with no issues over in here, somewhere where I can walk, where I could get to, it would be a lot easier. But no, of course, it's got to be over there in the corner. All right, time to get busy. And speaking of exhaust fan piping, see that right there? That's what it's probably going to look like. It's aluminum, it's flexible, and it comes like an 8-foot lengths. And that one just happens to go down to the laundry area where I'm at, and to an exhaust fan. Okay, if I were to lift that stuff up and all that, you would see it down in there. But that's going to be over there too. So I find that, I know I'm in the right location, right? Right. Well, I kind of have a game plan here. See, I screwed plywood here, and believe it or not, this blow-in insulation was as high as this stuff here, all the way across. And see down in there, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a cavity all the way down in there. And I got all the way over to the ceiling fan, or the exhaust fan, which is that white light there, way down there. And see, I knew there wasn't going to be very much crawl space through there. That's a smaller roof, and this insulation was packed in here almost straight across. Well, this high here, all the way across there. I had to dig all that, no joke. Dig it all out with my dustpan, throw it up here, deposit it in here, push it off to the side. Then there was a batt insulation about 12 inches thick. I had to roll that up, push that off to the side, crawl through over there, shovel, take my plywood and screw it on there, and so that I could reach down there. Look how deep that is. I don't know if you can see that too well. I might get the light up here a little bit better. Maybe I should, because I want you to get the full Monty of never giving up. You know, is your attic access going to be exactly like this one? No, it's not. But I'm hoping you get the idea of what all you're going to have to do. Okay, let me just set you here so that I can carry the light over there. And when I brought this light from home, I should have brought an extra bulb. You just have to be careful with them, because if you drop this or unplug it without pressing the button, all kinds of stuff, the bulb is very easy to burn out. And if it burns out, I don't have any extra bulbs with me. Oh, yeah, I hope you heard that. I hope you heard that one. Oh, man. I banged my head. Okay. Working up in the attic is a different beast, let me tell you. You use all kinds of muscles that you never thought you had. Yes. All right, we're gonna get you. I'm gonna get you back here. This is for your benefit, not mine. Okay? So, just remember that. One average Joe to another, right? See all the way down in there? Look, and then I had to crawl through that space over there. Way down there. None of that was there. I didn't even know there was. The crawl area was all covered up with blow-in insulation. See, whenever you build a house, you have to have attic access to all locations in your ceiling, and that's got a small little ceiling. And when I got up here initially, this insulation was as high as the ceiling. See where that, let's see here. Yeah, that 2x4 there going up at an angle. See right there? That's the peak. That's the peak of the other roof. And it goes right there and then back down. And there's only that little bit of access. But after they put the insulation in, they had batt insulation, 2x4 batt insulation, and it was about 12 inches thick. Then they blew in all this the blow-in insulation on top of that. I don't know if they did that after they moved in and they did it as an extra thing or what, because usually they'll do one or the other. If you have batt insulation, I'm saying batt, B-A-T-T, not B-A-D, batt insulation, and if it's 12 inches thick, you got a good R factor already, and there's no need to put all this blow-in insulation on top of it. But they must have done that, like I said, after they moved in, and maybe a few years later, somebody came along and gave them a good deal and said, oh yeah, we're going to give you, currently you have R22, we're going to give you R35 or something with the blow-in insulation. We're just going to blow it in over the top of the existing insulation. You're going to be good to go. But and they did that, and they covered up that crawl space access. And see, initially I didn't want to start digging through all this stuff because I thought, well, maybe the closet in that back bedroom has a crawl hole in it. And I looked, and no, it didn't have one. So I thought there's got to be a way to get through there. No inspector in their right mind is going to pass this without knowing that there's access. And so I just started digging the insulation, and I've put my strips of plywood down, and I started digging this right here. This insulation was up to these rafter edges right in here. And I started digging, and see how deep it is? It's 2 feet, and then it goes down to 3 feet or so down there. And then I just put more plywood down there and crawled through there and got myself a couple other pieces there. There's no way I could have done that very easily without this plywood crawling around through there and stuff, because I was literally on my belly in certain areas, and twisting and turning and flipping around to get through all this maze of wood. And there's some electrical wire down there. That big pipe there is the main pipeline to go to the heater, and a Freon line. And then there's an air conditioning duct there. There's some wires down there. You got to be careful, and you got to make sure you step on the ceiling joists and all that. And I had to go up over this and everything, So you just have to be careful. And I got all the way down there, saw the exhaust fan, saw that it had a 4-inch exhaust pipe on it, that aluminum pipe, just like the other piece that I showed you. I looked and saw where the wire was coming into it, because I thought maybe a rat had chewed through the wire. I transferred the wire and felt the wire along there through the insulation and everything and dug it out, saw where it got down the wall where those 3 light switches are, and that wire, sure enough, it was a 12-3 with ground. That means it's got a black, red, white wire and a ground wire, because remember there was 2 light switches that went up to that ceiling fan. One, I call it a ceiling fan, exhaust fan. One was for the exhaust fan. One light switch was for the exhaust fan, so they use a black to go up to there, and one exhaust fan or the other one was for the light in the exhaust fan, and you had a separate light for that. So then, so that you have a red wire going up there. So follow that back. It looks like all the wires are fine. I'm gonna do a little bit more investigating from the bottom side. You know, in the bathroom, because I thought there might be a transformer or something on the outside. Maybe that had burned up, or mainly looking to see if the wires looked okay. The wires look okay, and I'm going to check out a couple more things, and then I'm going to talk to my auntie, let her know what I found out, and I'll report back to you what I find. Okay, stick around. Hey, more. Yes, more to learn if you want to keep watching this video series. I'm just getting ready to go back down, but this is the aluminum type piping that goes up to a roof jack way down there where the other exhaust fan is for the bathroom. This one happens to go to the laundry room and that kind of stuff. But that's how they vent that, and that's a good way to do it. And I had to crawl all the way back there because years ago they used to have exhaust fans, you know, for the bathroom. You either had it hooked up to a 3-inch in diameter aluminum ductwork like this, or 4-inch, and it sure looked like 4. And I thought, I'm not taking any chances, because if I do happen to go to the store and get a new exhaust fan light combo, I wanted to make sure that it had the right extension on the end. I didn't want to go to the store. Maybe nowadays they only make them in 4-inch. I don't know. But I thought I'd better check it anyways. Okay? And so now, I'm still catching my breath, thanking my lucky stars, and I'm still okay. My knee's still not out of whack. And you just have to be careful when you're walking around. I hit my head over there because I was trying to go fast and get ready for you to show you over there, but you just have to be careful. I got a hat on, my glasses on, my protective glasses on, a dust mask on, my gloves on, a back support brace on, a knee brace on, long sleeve shirt on, all that kind of stuff when you're working up here. And take your time. Don't think you're gonna just do this in an hour or two. Okay, it just never works that way. And be careful with this thing. You know, even if I set that down hard or kind of fast and just kind of drop it and stuff, that light could burn out. So I'm very careful with that when I'm carrying it around. And another thing is, you always want to turn it on and off with this button. I did it one time and I just left the button on and I unplugged the extension cord at the end of the day, and the next day wherever I was, I just plugged the extension cord back in, and it blew the bulb. It blew the bulb in here. Okay, so just that, and the bulb wasn't even that old. All right, so just be careful when you work around these construction lights. And the other thing too is when you replace the bulb, you don't want to get your fingers on there. They have a little styrofoam thing around the bulb, and you just need to be real careful, because you don't, just your finger marks will put oil on the bulb, and then when the bulb heats up, it's liable to burn out, because I had one burn out, and the construction light was only, I don't know, 3 months old, and that could have had something to play with it too. Okay, and always make sure you get extra bulbs. So you can buy them in 2-packs, 3-packs, singles at the store. And I did that, or I went back to the store after I got this one, and I did get some extra bulbs, but I left them at home when I brought all my tools to Auntie's house. Okay, so important things to remember when you're working up in the attic and when you're working with the construction light. All right, I'm gonna head back down to the bathroom and check the fan out a little bit closer. Well. I got back up here because I thought there was something on the outside of the can up in the attic, okay, for the electrical. I've got the light switches off for those two the fan switch and the light. And here's the two things, and here's the wires up here, and this has a little nib on it on both sides, and it's designed to fit up in there, and I just took my screwdriver and kind of moved on it and loosened up one side and got the other side, pulled this down to check the wires, make sure the wires were tight on the back side, and I pushed in on the back, and it seemed like it kind of clicked in a little bit more, and I'm thinking maybe one of these or both of those, just the wire just got a little bit loose, maybe because it's up in the bathtub and you take showers, you get all this moisture, and you might lose a connection up there if the tip gets rusty or something like that. So I'm gonna turn both of the switches back on. I just hit those. I've got a wire tester with me, and I'm gonna test this. And this one was the light. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it or not. And I move it around. Can you see there? The orange light's on now. Okay, I test it on this side, and I'll wiggle it around a little bit. Let's see, and the orange light's on. Okay, and that tells me I've got power there. And when I started troubleshooting this, initially there wasn't power up there. You saw. I had to pull it all apart. I probably should have checked that first, right? I could have checked that first by pulling that out, but for some reason I thought there was a transformer or something on the back side, because lots of times if you got a 3-inch eyeball can light or something, and if it's burned out, and you think it's burned out, you replace the bulb and nothing happens, well, guess what? There's a ballast or a transformer of some sort on the back side of the whole can, and you have to, it's really tricky to do it. I went up in the attic and did mine that way, but you should be able to fish your hand up in there and reach around and unclick the back side of it and pull this thing out and all that kind of stuff. I kind of thought this fan had something like that too. I should have checked this first. My loss is your gain, right? But in any case, I made sure all the wires are tight and everything, and I'm glad I went up in the attic, went the extra mile, but had I known, I should have checked that first. Okay, so I'm gonna turn those lights switches back off, and I guess I can go back up in here. And chances are, I don't know. I tried to pull the wires out of the little plug-ins, and I couldn't get it out because I thought maybe I should pull the wire out and then push it back in. But there's no little goodie that will allow me to do that. Okay, and so the wire pigtails were probably on there from before, and I hesitate on wanting to try to pull those out, and do damage with it, because if I do that, maybe it doesn't go back in, and then I just messed it up, Okay, so now I gotta see. Okay, I see. There's a slot up here, and I'm hoping that once I get this all back in there, that the plugs work. But like I say, if they stop working after a while, and it looks like I gotta reposition the stiff wires first. like I say, if a couple months from now they have the same issue, Auntie might tell me, hey, I want it, oh, come on. I want it replaced. And so I may have to just go and replace it for her. Okay? I see. That thing just, there's a little nib on the side that you just push in tight, and then you push that up. Okay? And then to pull it back down, you just reach it up there, pull it down, and that side has that little nib in it, and you pull it down. Okay? So, in theory, I say, this thing should work now, right? Before I do anything, I probably should get my goggles on, and I happen to have a toothbrush in here for cleaning. I don't know why I got it in here. See, I'm gonna clean all this stuff off. I'm gonna get my goggles on, and I'm gonna clean that, and I'm gonna clean the back side of the fan. Remember? Let's see here. I'm gonna wipe out this as best I can. I'll take this out. I guess I'll take this out in the garage, and I'll clean all of this lint and stuff off of here and get it all set to go. Wipe out the lens cover for the light. See, this has lint on it and all stuff in here. I'll wipe that all out, and I'll even clean this out. There's all kinds of stuff. See on the back side here, you know, all the way across. I'll stick my little toothbrush to it, and away I go. I'll clean that all up, and I'll get ready to install it. And we're gonna cross our fingers, and hopefully it's gonna be fixed. Oh. So, hey, one thing at a time. My loss is your gain. You can check yours out. Check out first the power up there, okay? Then you can make sure that the light bulb is not burned out. Sometimes if it's burned out, you can replace that. Sometimes you can replace the motor if the motor's burned out. And if it's not that, then you go to the light switches. And if it's not that, then you go up into the attic and rummage around. You might find a wire that's been disconnected, that's been chewed through by a mouse, a rat, a squirrel, who knows? Somebody could have stepped on something. Oh yeah, we had some workers up there working, and you know, funny thing, after they got all done, our exhaust fan in the bathroom's not working. Well, they could have stepped on a wire and pulled on the wire and caused a short up there somewhere. All kinds of things. So I'm glad I went the extra mile to show you everything that I'm doing, okay? Stick around, because I'm hoping, I'm going to cross my fingers that everything's going to turn on when I get done. And like I say, I'm hoping that it's going to, and I think it will. But if she has this issue, an ongoing issue with this, then the next time, what do you suppose I'm going to do next time? I'm going to pull those little plugs out, just like you saw in there. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I may have to get a new camera. It seems like when I might have low light in here or something, but in any case, I'll try to maybe pull the wire out of the backside of that and see if I can't restrip it and put a new, restrip the end, cut the end off, restrip it, push it in there. But like I say, I'm not sure if that's going to work or not, and I'd hate to wreck something that maybe is unfixable. And then I'll try that. And then worst case scenario, if she's got issues after that, then guess what I'm going to do? Yeah, at that point, hey, bite the big one and replace the entire exhaust fan with the new one. And if I have to do that, of course, I'll make videos of that as well. So, hey, I'm still glad I went up into the attic and got all that stuff ready and checked it all out and did all that stuff. Hey, it's my auntie. What do you expect? All right. Be right back for the rest of the story. Okay, I got all that stuff all nicely cleaned and everything. And before I put it up there, now that I've got everything pushed back up in there, I might as well get my tester out. I've got my switches back turned on. The last thing I want is for these to be off. So I'm going to test them. I'm going to test them here. Yeah, that one's on. And that one's on. Huh. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Okay. Oh, you know, I forgot to get this cleaned off up here with my toothbrush. I did everything else, and I forgot to come back up in here. Oh well, I can do it now. That stuff just accumulates because it's in the bathroom. Your laundry, exhaust fans are like this lots of times, and it could be a good thing for you to do every 3 or 4 years. Pull it all apart, wipe it down. You'll prevent fires for sure. You just will. It's possible. Because that motor, if that motor seizes, when you turn on a ceiling fan, exhaust fan like this, and if you hear the motor, then turn it off and check it out. Pull it apart, see what happens. Boy, that thing's kind of marked up, the drywall, but when it pushes up, it's going to be okay, so it should be all right. And whoever installed this, it's installed on a floor joist, truss joist right here, and they just screwed it there, and this side they left wild. Then when they cut the drywall, they pushed the drywall up and it tweaked that up. The only way to get that back down would be to clean that off, pull it down. It's not hurting anything. It should be fine. I could put a screw up in there, clean off around the edges and then pull on it. You know, I could have done that, but I don't think I'm going to this time. So, I believe we're good now. Now I'm going to turn the switches back off. The light switches, just to be on the safe side. And let's see. This housing here goes in first, as I remember. Oh, and before I do that, remember I took that screw out. I took a screw out up there. Silly rabbit. Silly rabbit. And I might as well get it screwed back in for some reason. There's outside flanges on this to screw it against the 2x4, but whoever installed this, they put a screw in it too, up in here. And I'm not sure why they have them on both sides too. I think I'm going to put that in after. Yeah, after. Because that screw is keeping this motor housing from pushing back up in there. Because they didn't have it screwed in tight. Okay, well, it's going to go there. This one had little flanges on this side, remember? So I gotta fit those. That's why you want your goggles on. Fit those in there on that side and push that up, and it should snap. Oh, look at that. Okay. That should snap like that, and it did. And this should be plugged in. And you know, let's go the extra mile. And that could have been rusty right there. I'm gonna just for kicks, I'm gonna turn one of the switch on for that. I would do the same thing at my place, so okay. Must be this one here. Look at that. It is working. Ha ha ha. Okay. So I'm gonna leave that off, and I'm gonna get ready for the next little bit here. I'm just gonna leave the camera going, and I'm gonna put that screw back in just because it was there. Hey, I don't think it's really hurting anything to leave it off, but it's okay. Only take me a minute to screw it back up in there. And just the way they had the screw, it was preventing my motor housing from sliding out all the way, you know, when I pulled it down. So, hey, the things you do when you do it yourself, right? But hey, the good thing is, when you do things yourself, you start learning all kinds of things along the way. Okay, there's that nut was right there. Okay. And I've never seen one like this before. Now this is for that light, and it did have a little transformer thing on the side of the light, but when I plugged it into the wall, it was fine, remember? And let's see, I think it went like that. It went that direction, as I remember. So I gotta pull the light bulb up to put this up in there. Oh, I guess I gotta plug that in first. Great. Okay. And then that. Wait, how was that? Like that? I think it was. Now I kind of forget. Silly rabbit. Oh no, that doesn't go in yet. Wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think that goes in just yet. I've got that housing thing. I think the housing thing fits around this and goes up all together. That's what happens. Okay. That fit. Let's see if I remember how. I think it does it fit this way? Just trying to hold it up there. Sake. Okay. I think it went like that. Yeah. Then it went up. Boy. Okay. Like that. plug this in. Good grief. Like that. And now hold my mouth just right. Like that. Okay. Okay. About like that. That's how it went. And that one screw, one tiny screw, bolt, nut, what have you, it's the only thing that fits it up there. And I'm just going to do some measuring here. Before I get down, my pet peeve is doing stuff and having it crooked. 23 when I get down. Okay, now I'm gonna check this side. Okay. That's probably close enough. 17 3/4 there. That's good. Okay. Now I'm gonna tighten that just one little turn, I think. One couple. There. Okay. There. All right. Plug my light bulb back in, like that. Okay. And before I put the lid on, let's turn the light switch on. No monkey business going around. Okay. It should turn on. 3, 2, 1. And that's just, there it is. And that's just how a compact fluorescent bulb works. When you turn it off and then when you turn it back on, it just takes a little bit to heat up. And you know, I was talking to my auntie and she says, why don't you just go ahead and replace it now that you've got it all pulled apart? And I said, well, that's another beast in itself. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's my motto. And I told her, I said, hey, if you go on, this may never happen again. Next time the light goes out, maybe it's going to be because the bulb is burned out. But if I find out that there's issues with this again, I told her, I said at that point, I would pull the little wires out of the connectors to see if I can pull them out. And if they come out, then I would cut the wire a little bit and then re-cut the ends and put the wire back in there in case it's got corrosion on it, rust on it, whatever, and then try it again and probably not have any problems. But I don't know if those wires are designed to be pulled off anyways, okay? And I told her, I said, at that point, hey, if it's not going to work, that's the time we should replace it. And nowadays, they don't have compact fluorescent light bulbs that they put in light fixtures nowadays. The type of ceiling exhaust fan like this one would have LED lights in there, and it would have the fan, the same type of fan that's in there now, okay? And that would be tricky, especially where it is located up in the attic and all that kind of stuff. It's not impossible. Hey, I told her, I said, I'll do it, but let's just see if this is going to last a while longer. Okay. And it's working, okay? And this house is probably 17, 18 years old, and that's just the types of lights they had back then, the compact fluorescents. and they don't have, you can get a compact fluorescent bulb. If that bulb burns out, yes, you can still get them and stuff, but you can't get an entire new light fixture with the compact fluorescent bulbs in them like that anymore. Okay? Well, I think I'm done. Hey, one last thing. When you're up here in the attic, you know, spread all of your blow-in insulation back. Okay, spread it all out. And I did that. I got back down in there, undid the plywood from way back, pulled it up, rolled the insulation out, did some other stuff, and worked my way back up. Took all my pieces of plywood. I had 6 pieces there, remember? And then I spread everything out. I had a big, huge pile right here, and I pushed that back. Make sure you do that. The last thing you want to do is leave it all undone. I'll take care of it later, and later never comes or something. Okay? And I swept this all up. I swept it all up with my broom here. Got up here, made one more pass, and I've got it all, and I'm ready to get out of here. Alrighty. I say I'm done. Last thing I gotta do is I've got to clean up. So I've got to, you know, because I got all that dust in there, I wipe that down, wipe off the the walls. I got dust in my throat now. All this down here, clean up down here, put everything back together, wipe everything down, clean up everything in the garage, and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm done. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos. Hey, I never know what I'm going to post next, so you might want to just keep watching because it could save you some money around the house.